Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. And nope, our sound is good. Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and we're having some audio issues, so no hat today. I had to use my big bulky headset, so no cowboy hat, no fedora, but she'll be right here waiting for us. But how is everyone doing today? I will actually be doing my intro in tandem with Jeff today, because Beardo's unfortunately unable to join us this evening, so we're going to jump right into things and get things off to a running start into Red Dead Redemption roleplaying. Real fast, though, I do want to say hi to Biggles, Tranquil Waters, and Misfit Gaming in the chat. Thanks for hanging around and being in the chat so early on. And why are you so upset with me, Tranquil Waters? What did I do to you? But we're jumping right over into the AlaskaJeff sound section. Howdy, Jeff. How's it going? Are you ready?
It is going fair and well. Stand by just a second. Okay, got things good to go on my end.
Beautiful.
Finish up some last minute tweaks to any sort of background program so they won't interfere with today's stream. But welcome everybody, and hopefully you will enjoy what we got for you today.
That's the hope.
Yep. So we do have a little bit of a conundrum, as I believe Jed mentioned, but I'm going to mention over here as well. We are missing our beloved Mr. Beardo.
So
And
sad.
so, unfortunately, we are having to do an audible, which honestly, this is the reason why it's good to have multiple people involved with this. If there's any reason that someone is unable to make it, we're able to press on with the story without really hindering the narrative. Kind of like what happens with the D&D channel with what Aruda is doing. The only difference is that what we're doing is a little bit more flexible in being able to carry on like this. We don't have a dummy person that we have to fill in. We just say that well they're just busy doing something else, and it's very easy to kind of say, oh, they got left behind, or they got forgotten, or they drank themselves under the table, or any number of things. They got kicked by a horse and they're getting and they're having to deal with the medical emergency. Um, but yeah, so it should be fairly smooth moving forward. The one thing we have to try and do though is have our characters reconnect, and we'll have to carry on that really dramatic end off that we had with the last episode next week. So imagine this is like it isn't a side quest per se. This is kind of like one of those filler episodes that you might see in some TV shows. It doesn't mean that it's any less interesting. It just means that it's maybe not the main story that was being prepared, but it can be just as entertaining. So, Jed, are you just about ready to proceed forward?
I am. I'm in game, listening to gunshots in the distance and ready to hop into this with you.
All right. Well, let me just square away one last thing over here. Then I will be ready to join you in there. I don't expect we will probably have as many people show up for this stream as we would if Mr. Beardo was here, but I'm sure that you all will enjoy it all the same. What we would also like to mention is that we are going to do a little bit of a challenge here. We mentioned last week we wanted to try and have the ability to add bits as
Yes.
quest objectives. Well, we were struggling to come up with a good system for it. And I actually spent a couple of days like kind of digging around behind the scenes, trying to find out what was available um, for people to be able to have our characters do outside of just like turning around and insulting the other person or something like that. Things actually felt like they were period to the story. And unfortunately, it's not really possible. So we have to come up with something a bit more unique. So if you have an idea, feel free to mention it in the chat. And if it's something that we think we can pull off, then by all means, we'll kind of give a hint to everyone that yes, that's something we can do moving forward. So if there is any sort of commissions in that sense, right now the only commission I can personally think of is demanding that there are animal hides that are deposited at a train station or giving it to another player. We're not going to do things like attacking other players. That's not really on the list there, but everything else we'll be willing to kind of listen to for the time being. And then we'll have that as an ability to go back, double check it, and debate it for the next stream. All right, I am logging into the free roam. Once I do that, my computer will start to glitch out a little bit. So if there's any changes that needs to happen to my streaming side, please be sure to mention it sooner rather than later. Jed, do you know how to invite people to your party?
I do, yeah. I can send you an invite as soon as you're ready.
All right, perfect. I'm still loading in, but I will be in there in a moment. The load in definitely takes.
All right, folks. Just want to say hi to you guys real fast while we wait for Jeff to come in.
I
And
just want to say welcome everyone who has just recently joined in. Thanks for the follows from those who have just shown up. And hopefully you enjoyed today's adventure of Mr. Beckett and Mr. Milo as
absolutely
they wander beardless through the territory.
Yes, beardless. Well, just real fast, the bits he was talking about on the Twitch side, that's super chat. So we're just trying to figure out a way to integrate chat interaction in the same way that the D&D streams do, for example. So it's bits on Twitch, super chats on YouTube, something like period specific. So if you guys want to influence the chain of events, if you guys want to give us a mission and do it in a super chat form, and you guys just pretend it's period, piece, telegram, something that we'd actually receive, and be like, hey, this woman, she's been kidnapped, she's on a train heading that way, go grab the train, try to save her, or something like that, make it like a telegram of the era. We're very big on staying within the historical era, so however you guys can do that, however you guys wish to do that, is always welcome. But as we wait the final moments for him to get that going, I just want to say hi to a few more people in the chat. Jaden Hamilton has joined us again, and I haven't seen Tombstone. That's right. That's why you're mad at me, Tranquil Waters. I'm on it. I'm on it. Hiding all the women and the horses, yes. And Beardo does have a horse, and the white hair is a reference to Geralt from The Witcher.
But on my side, I'm going to go to the intro for a moment while we get our characters into position.
Sweet.
Jed, I'm ready to have you invite me.
Beautiful. Let me get that up for you. Oh, wrong button. Players, AlaskaJeff, invite to session. You should be receiving it momentarily, sir.
Excellent.
See Mr. Beardo's name right here next to yours? It's so sad.
Mr. Beardo.
My chat's telling me to watch Tombstone. Have you ever seen that?
Once upon a time, yeah, I do believe I did.
Yeah, we did a I'm on a Saturday night stream called Saturday Night Drive-In, and we talked about Willow this last week. So we're talking about Val Kilmer movies, and it came out that I'd never seen Tombstone, so they were pretty upset with me when I said that.
Oh my. There's a lot of classics that I ended up seeing years and years ago, but it's been so long that I've done forgot them. Uh-oh, I glitched out a little bit.
Whoa.
By as my OBS is acting up just a little bit.
I do see you though, so, and you're not transparent.
All right.
All right, real fast, guys. How's the audio difference between us?
What in tarnations? What am I doing out here? Wait, Mr. Beckett. I do believe I was walking the other way, riding on Yukon, and here I am standing out here in the middle of the road, and you are in front of me.
Well, I do not understand what you're doing here. I thought you never wanted to see the likes of me again.
Well, technically, I never wanted to see the likes of Mr. Beardo again. You're a conundrum to me. Seeing that we fought on the same side for a short time, I still have a little bit of respect for you, even though you probably don't have any respect for me. But I must say, I am a bit perplexed. I was walking off into the west, and now I am here. My sleepwalking is definitely becoming a problem.
I'd imagine that were the case. I mean, you have always displayed a rather perplexing desire for the eccentricities of life. Perhaps your mental state is not as stable as you'd hoped.
My mental state is perfectly fine. Well, actually, now that you mention it, I have seen quite a few demons out here, so maybe it's not completely fine. You might have me there.
I imagine that's probably the cause of this here conundrum for yourself, Mr. Milo.
Well, now, I must say that it is perplexing that I'm out here, but it's even more perplexing that you are here. What brought you out of Blackwater?
Well, I am a tad ashamed to admit it, but I reckon it's to find you, Mr. Milo. Mr. Beardo has undergone a strange event, and I found him the other morning beneath a table, stone drunk, and I could not deal with him on this fine morning, so I am here attempting to find a friend who is a little bit more amenable without his liquor to prop himself up.
That's Mr. Beardo for you. I must a lot of shooting over there. But I'm not surprised. I had to drag his drunk body out of a bar once and just plop him on the ground. It ended up into a bit of a tussle, and must have drank a little too much because I believe we shot each other a couple of times. But I'm glad that you now have a chance to suffer his presence rather than me. But I guess then you might as well change sides, you could say. You have a propensity to try and, turn your colors when it no longer suits you.
Well, I never actually developed any loyalty to yourself or Mr. Beardo, so there's no turn colors here yet. It's just, at this point, whatever's best for me, and I'll develop their loyalties when the occasion arises, and there's means to do so.
Well, that being said, I still actually appreciate having your company for today. Now, I was going to be heading out west, but I wanted to make sure that if there's anything you might want to try and venture and see before we head out there into that dry part of the territory.
I reckon there might be something nearby. I do declare that we are in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere?
Just south of Blackwater, out in the fields there. There's nothing around besides Blackwater, and Blackwater's way off in that there direction.
There's, just a second, there's some sort of strange beeping that's happening on my side of the world.
Is there indeed?
Very distracting. Very distracting indeed. There we go. Now it's a lot less of a problem. Now I notice that there's this area over here with a dollar sign and what looks like a drop of oil. I think we better go check that. As you can see, I have a very stylish hat now. I finally found myself a hat that seems to suit my personality.
It's a mighty fine hat, Mr. Milo.
But now I'm in need of a better rifle. This little rifle right here just doesn't quite work as efficiently as I would like it.
They kill folks?
More like for accuracy. I have ended up in a lot of very dangerous situations in which I wish my weapon was more accurate and had a longer range.
I reckon get us some cash and we might be able to accommodate that need of yours.
Precisely.
I am unable to see this drop of oil that you're referring to, so I shall just follow you.
Very well. It should be right over here. Do you not see that there's a drop of oil in the orange, kind of a pinkish, salmon-colored circle?
I'm afraid I cannot, at least not in this direction here.
This fella right here, do you not see him?
I see no fella. I see a campsite, but no fella on him.
You see no fella. You mean I'm seeing a phantom right now?
I imagine he's sitting right about there.
Yeah, he's sitting right about there.
Well, I believe that we should kill ghosts when we see him.
It didn't even phase him. It is a ghost.
My, oh my, there is a ghost there.
I'm not inclined to deal with ghosts. And come to think of it, you actually look more like a phantom right now. Being around him probably is causing us to have those hallucinations again. Are you real, sir? Tell me. What done happened to you to make you become a phantom? Why do you look more flesh and blood than my friend over there? Wait a minute. Do I look ghostly to you?
You do indeed, my friend. You are quite
Oh my
transparent.
goodness.
It's a field
This
of
fella-
ghosts and fiends.
This fella is turning us into phantoms. Or turning me into a phantom. I gotta get away from him.
I do see a oil in this direction, but ain't seen it behind me.
Well, let us go to your oil. And let's see if there's a similarity.
It is quite a
You
distant
can
bit
see
of
him.
oil. It is quite far indeed. I believe that there is a stranger in need of help at Thieves' Landing south of us that is far closer than my drop of oil.
Oh, I know that fella. That's their Shacky. Have you ever encountered Mr. Shacky before?
I cannot recall.
He's a bit of a troubled individual. But I think it might be best for you to actually meet him. He left me disturbed. I'll have to see what your take on him is.
I imagine he'd be
But
amenable, but we got some strange characteristics out here in the wilds of the West. Never know what you're going to come across.
That is very true. Now, that being said, we still have to go through Thieves' Landing to get into the southern and southwestern regions of this territory.
I reckon that's so.
Now that we no longer have an interruption, I'd like to know why you changed sides.
I ain't
Back in
changing
the
no...
war, that is.
I never wanted to be on the side of the South. I was press gang, so it wasn't that my loyalties changed. It's merely that I was able to free myself from the captivity of the South to fight for my true brethren in the North. It wasn't a matter of loyalty or betrayal. It was merely a matter of my freedom and the virtues that I espouse from the very beginning.
You mean tell me that your loyalty was to people in other states rather than the people of your own state?
I'm actually from Massachusetts, but happened to be down south working when I got press ganged. It was a matter of a misunderstanding, so my loyalties always remain to my homeland. It's just a matter of being at the wrong place at the wrong time, getting forced into working for the dastardly South.
Hey, be careful what you say about dastardly. Not all of us were dastardly. I do admit there was a lot of mistakes.
I meant
Some
no
of us were
offense.
gentlemen.
I meant no offense, but those who did press gang me were definitely of the dastardly variety, for they did kidnap myself, so I consider them veritably dastardly. I did not mean to imply that you yourself was of the dastardly inclination.
You know, I also was press ganged into, as you would say, into the Virginian military. I didn't have much of a choice, but in that sense, I can respect your desire to want to leave after that happened. I see that a certain rogue attraction has stopped by, and he is perplexed as to what he has seen. Are you familiar with this here rogue attraction? He's got a little goblin on his shoulder.
I believe I have laid eyes upon this strange individual.
Now, Thieves' Landing is a messed up place. I dare say it's some of the most unsavory characters I ever came across. I'd be careful not to anger any of them. They are armed to the teeth.
I'd also advise not saying that you're not inclined to hang out with them while you're walking past them. I believe that should have been a conversation reserved to before we arrived in town.
I'm not sure if they necessarily speak English.
Well, in that case, say whatever you want. Ooh. I do believe I need to run over to this here fella and see if I can sell anything real fast. This fence. Ooh, I got some gold wedding rings. I have no idea where I picked them up. And a silver tooth.
Wedding rings. Silver tooth. Why in tarnations are you walking around with a silver tooth?
It's made of silver. And silver's nice. I like silver. So when I saw it, I took it. Mr.
Wait a
Milo?
minute.
You
Yes.
invisible again?
I'm invisible. What are you talking about?
I believe I have lost him, Mr. Milo.
Oh. Are you in one of them there, what they call cutscenes?
I am not. I was waiting for you and I can't find
Oh,
you.
no, there you are. There you are. Come back.
You were at the fence as well. I was unaware that you were selling stuff as well. Do you sell anything
Well,
good?
I believe I actually had a ring in my possession. I'm not sure how that happened either. Somebody is dropping jewelry. Wait a minute. I wonder if that's Mr. Beardo. He has gunned down a great many innocent folks.
Then he give
wonder
us
if he's
his
been-
loot? Why would he give us his loot after gunning down folks?
Maybe to outrun the law so they don't suspect that he is guilty.
I reckon that's a cause.
But now this here Shacky, you'll notice he's got a couple of problems. You might as well take it and have a conversation with him. But just know if you do take one of his tasks, it can end up being a little lengthy, and you will be alone.
I believe if we do this here separate, we might stay together. And like only one of us does it.
You will
How about
definitely
that
teleport
work?
somewhere else,
I guess you're off.
and you will remain a phantom for probably a good 15 minutes.
I reckon.
That's what happened with me and Mr. Beardo.
I reckon
I
in
ended up
that
getting
case
mauled by
we
a cat.
should leave this man here to his own troubles.
Well, we still got a chance to see this here Thieves Landing, so I guess it was not all wasted.
It is quite the establishment they got here. I'm unfamiliar with this place and reckon that I won't be coming back anytime soon.
These people are mighty unsavory.
Touched in the head or
What?
something?
No, sir, Mr. Shacky is touched in the head. Keep walking your way. Did you hear what he said?
I did hear. He was wondering if I was touched in the head, and I've been touched in the head before, but I wouldn't say I was surely touched in the head in the way that he inclined it to be.
Is that how your hair became white?
I reckon it was something like that. I just always had this here white hair. I imagine it got exacerbated as a result of their war trauma. I have received a telegram requesting that I go to Saint Denis. I am not wishing to return to that city anytime soon, I'm afraid. But if there is a reason or a mission to go there called upon my services to return to Saint Denis, I could be persuaded.
Be careful of accepting messages from people. It can be very dangerous. You never know what sort of figures they might be. If they're upstanding gentlemen, then that's one thing. But if it's just a bunch of thieves, they will say, go here, so they can jump you.
Well,
things like that.
This here was a lady named Anna's Gameland. So,
Lady?
I reckon
I
she's...
guess that is less likely to try and become bad.
Yeah, this here lady, she's from across the pond over there in that there Great Britain. She sent this
Great Britain?
telegram very far to tell me to go to Saint Denis.
Saint Denis. Well, let us take a quick look at this here map there. Did she mention what was in Saint Denis that you were supposed to go there for?
She did not. All her words say is from Anna's Gameland Telegraph says, can you go to Saint Denis, please? That's all that I've been requested of to do.
I'm always suspicious when a woman of any kind tells me to go somewhere. But then again, that's because I've had some pretty bad experiences.
A woman was ever interested in you, Mr. Milo?
Well, technically it was more arranged, and then I got, unfortunately, tricked. So I can't recall. Did I tell you about my the woman I was betrothed to?
I don't reckon you did. The time we spent in the military together was a little bit of a single focus and a single mind, so we never got up to that there chit chat.
When I was betrothed to someone, I wasn't really too familiar with who she was. All I knew that it was part of the family deal to try and strengthen bonds in that part of the country, as well as give us each a better life by merging two plantations together. Now, my family mostly had ocean-going vessels, but my father was trying to go into farming. It was a way for him to try and stay closer to home. He was tired of having to travel everywhere. And so it was part of the plan that I would help to unite the two families. But then the war happened, and I was taken away. By the time I got back, it turns out the man that pressed me into the services had ended up taking that woman for himself. I left, and then I got a very interesting message from her later on that asked for me to come back. I wasn't entirely sure what that meant. She was a married woman after all. Maybe she had something to say that would help to heal some of the damage that had been done. For I lost all my property at the same time. No, what ended up happening was that it was part of her trying to get me arrested. And it worked.
That there's a veritable Romeo and Juliet story. My sympathies for you, my friend. I've received another telegram, this one for $5, accompanying it. Quite a steep transaction, I thank you, from Mr. Biggles Metz. He says there's an urgent pigeon carry to go to Saint Denis. There is something important there.
St. Denis.
I believe more individuals do wish us to go to Saint Denis, but none of us will tell us why. I'm a little scared if everyone's saying to go to Saint Denis, but no one can tell us what's awaiting us.
St. Denis is a good place to get caught and killed. Believe me, I've experienced it.
I do
Not the
reckon
killing
it's
part,
for a respectable reason. Otherwise, they would not have risked such a hefty sum as $5 to request my presence.
They didn't want us to deliver anything to them or something like that. I guess it must mean that there's something else that's going on. Your horse is not looking so good. You might want to tend to it.
I reckon I need to actually go and buy stuff for my horse.
Oh, you need feed for your horse. Is that it?
I only have that there shot type stuff.
But let me see if I can feed your horse. It might be a bit risky. Well, I can pat it. I can lead it. I can make it flee. But I can't feed it. How does that make any sense?
Well, many thanks for the attempt, Mr. Milo. I've received another telegram, this one from a Mr. Tranquil Waters, who's saying a Yannet is in Saint Denis.
Yannet?
Yannet.
Well, I guess we might as well head over that way.
It's quite a distance.
It is a bit of a distance, but if we can get to the railroad, there's actually an opportunity to speed up our journey. So I'm going to set a waypoint over there so we can travel and then ride the rest of the way. Make it a little bit more interesting. There, I have marked a location. Wait a minute, why is it trying to send us that way? Oh, I see. Okay, never mind that. Let us just head on to the north. Going cross country a little bit.
I do wonder who this here Yannet is, because I've never met anyone with the name Yannet, but I did have a childhood friend who said if she ever grew up and fled her terrible childhood, that she'd choose the name Yannet to reflect the new prospects of her life. I wonder if that's the Yannet that is calling me to Saint Denis. Perhaps Anna is a lady friend of hers, wishing to just show off her new prospects now that she's finally free.
that could be the case. This way, to our right.
Yana always said that when she got there, she'd always open up a.
Wait a minute.
Is there danger?
There it is, right there. Pig. These things are deadly. Can't let that go. Wait, where'd it go?
I do not see this here pig. Are you seeing phantom pigs now, Mr. Milo?
Darn thing got away. Whenever I see pigs, I have to shoot them. I knew someone that got badly hurt, almost killed and eaten by pigs.
I knew one as well.
Of them ever since.
I knew a man who was skewered by a boar as well. He was always considering himself a king. Called himself King Robert. Went around acting like he was the lord of the land, but he wasn't actually no real king. He was not of the proper birthright, you see. But King Robert came to a ghastly demise at the end of a tusk of a boar, and it was a tragedy that led to much conflict among his family. I agree. Any boys that we come across must be put down in revenge for poor Robert's death.
Did you ever hear the story of Old Yeller?
I'm unfamiliar with this tale.
It's a tale about one of the most loyal and faithful dogs to ever live out here in the West. But one of the problems that they encountered is that there were a lot of wild hogs that were a mighty dangerous creature for them all. One of the things they had to deal with, the family had to deal with, was hunting those animals before they started hunting them. I learned from that story of just how deadly they could be. And then I actually met a farmer whose wife was actually held up inside of her home, scared for her life as boars were trying to break into the door to eat her. The husband came back just in time. He fired some rifle rounds into the air and they ran away. But they kept coming back. And so he actually had to get a posse together to go out and hunt them.
That there's a terrifying tale.
You know what makes it even more terrifying? It's actually true. That is no RP.
I ain't ever gonna look at a dog nor a pig the same way again.
This is a very scary part of the territory. The fog really likes to play tricks on the mind. Wait a minute.
Wolves.
We have wolves behind us. Oh, gotta get side. Nope.
I put down the threat.
You are mighty fast with that. I couldn't even get my weapon out. Why can't I not get my weapon out?
The trauma from the war.
There we go. Finally. For some reason my weapon was stuck in the holster.
I imagine it's
do you want
trauma
to skin
from
those
the
wolves?
war. I might as well do one of them. I don't have room for more than that there one, so if you'd like to take another.
You can actually take all of them.
Okay.
I found out you can stack them. Now, I got a certain telegram from a misfit gamer that to mention that rumor says that it is in need of godly strong men to help the town. The folks have gone missing in the night, particular nights with a full moon. I'm not sure if I believe that, but then again, I've seen some mighty peculiar things in this world.
I reckon I'd rather not encounter whatever is doing that there to folks, and I ain't no godly man, so I wouldn't be the one to lead such an expedition either way.
One of the strange things I've encountered out here is the undead. I've encountered them twice, and it is mighty disturbing. Wait a minute. You see this figure right here?
I do indeed. It's a lady. Oh, the lady's talking to me.
Oh, I recognize that woman.
Hello, stranger.
I guess I'll wait for you here.
This is Madam Nazir.
I told you.
I apologize. This lady's here yammering, and I can't break away. Not of my intent to speak to her.
Much pain and
No
suffering in your
worries, I
future.
know.
A crook and a charlatan. Not sure you know what you're getting into with this one.
Hey,
I'd rather trust her than
listen
you,
to him.
fella.
I am Madame Nazar, channeler of spirits, finder of lost things, and since everyone seems to be a fortune teller now, seller of the strange and exotic. Which one of these can I help you with today? Wait.
I'd like
Ask
everything that they're listed there. Ooh, she's got a crystal ball. I believe she's gonna see my future.
Yes. You're searching for something.
Careful, crystal balls.
A dead lover.
Nope,
Spirit
no dead
knows
lover for me.
Contact on the other side. No, no.
No.
It's not that. It's not something you've lost, but something you.
Some very
Yes.
interesting attires you can purchase from here.
Yeah. Purpose.
Now I ain't looking for nothing either.
Hey, this life.
Huh? She finally stuck the
You see,
head of the nail there with the chaos. It's entertainment
Don't
value.
work for me. I say I find things, but really,
Entertainment.
It is others who do the finding.
I
tell
need
them what they're looking for,
distractions.
and they
I believe I've
collect
told you
for
that
it.
before. I wish for the best of distractions, and that's why I'm here out here in the West.
And sometimes
So
great.
there is a purpose to the chaos. That's the only thing she said that made
Because
any
one
sort
day
of
can be as
sense.
honest or dishonest as you want it
Be
to
careful of
be.
people that read palm.
How about it?
You're likely to
Want
get
be
slapped
one of
by
my
them.
collectors?
Well, she's quite
And
an
make sure
attractive
that
lady.
have all
I
the
do say
contents.
so.
A small fee is really the least I should ask for giving you
I
what
will
you're looking
continue to
for
wait
and
for you
setting
to come
up
back.
with everything you need to get started. There are more tools you may want from me in due course, but first,
Her record player
you need
is
to
gives
prove
some pretty
yourself.
beautiful
If you
music.
don't want to start now, you can find me again, and the offer will still be there. Oh, if money is the problem, then that is the first thing you should go looking for. When you found some, return to me, and I'll set you on your way.
I reckon you're right, Misfit Gamer. That is a veritable easy way to get myself a curse is working for a woman like this. I believe we should make haste away from this strange madam.
Believe me, she is out of place out here. She's out here all by herself. Imagine if a pack of wolves came for her. What would she do?
I imagine she'd probably tell you that she'd use some sort of crazy witch magic to set the wolves on each other or some such there nonsense.
You mean that she'd be using some sort of black magic?
I reckon so. At least that be her claim.
Maybe she's the one that's causing all the hallucinations out here. Wait a minute. What is that? Do you see that critter right there? What is it?
That there's a bobcat or a cougar.
Why did it look so white?
It's an albino cougar.
Wait, just a second, before you do anything.
Oh,
That's not a cougar. That is a lynx in the
lynx.
face. But no, never mind. It is a cougar. It just looked, the coloration was a little strange.
Yeah, I
that
was
is
gonna
a mighty
say
big cat out here.
it'd be surprising to find any lynx here in these woods. So yeah, cougar more likely.
I've noticed that this world sometimes has some airs in how they try to put some stylizing on this here world for this enjoyment of ours. So that's why I was a little curious. It looked different in the face than
It's
I
as
kinda
if our
expected.
reality ain't real.
it's almost as if it isn't real. That's what made me a little curious if there might be something wrong.
That would track on a couple things. I can't imagine a real place where such horrors as the Civil War would have actually happened on their own. Imagine reality's probably a little bit more cushy than our lives has been.
Possibly. I do know that a lot of people have very strange experiences in this world, and we have had more than our fair share.
I had one recently since the last time we spoke. I was standing on a hilltop, and suddenly a whirlwind of leaves surrounded me, and it chased me wherever I went. It was one of the most strangest occurrences to ever happen to me. I can never look at any palm trees or pine trees, cedar trees, or any other type of tree the same way again after such a harrowing experience.
Careful, don't give any disrespect to that graveyard. I just realized that I was running through it.
The dead
I'm
can't tell.
I'm a little perplexed that you would be dealing with swirling leaves, almost as if it was a tornado. Was that it?
It was something far more strange. It was much smaller, and it was emanating from myself as if I were the tornado.
You were the tornado. Oh my goodness! Well, you are a whirling devil for sure.
My apologies, Mr. Milo. My horse is hungry and not walking the way I want. Can I walk a little crooked?
That was not very civil at all. Poor Yukon. Did Mr. Beckett try and kill you?
Well, Kelpie's all right.
Well, I'm not surprised. He probably told Kelpie to attack in such a way as to not hurt itself.
I don't reckon I've ever met a horse that was capable of taking such fine instruction.
Oh, believe me, my horse can understand some mighty fine direction.
Are we anywhere near this here train station?
We are very near. It's right over this hill. There are about 3 trains that passed by here. So we should have a very easy...
Here.
There we go. There's
here.
one. Hurry up. We got to go catch it.
Let's jump on this here train.
Precisely. Train has a lot more stamina than our steeds.
I reckon that's so. It's probably part of the appeal of having a train is that stamina difference.
There we go. There we go. It's right here. Oh, it's starting to get away. There we go. I'm on.
I'm on board as well.
Follow us, Yukon. Meet us in St. Denis.
I don't reckon this here train's gonna make it all the way to St. Denis.
No, but it'll get pretty close. If you look at your map, it actually will be traveling. Wait a minute. Yes, it will go all the way over to, I believe, the town of Arholds, and then we'll actually loop into St. Denis.
It depends on which fork in the road we take.
It kind of does depend on that. I somehow have a sneaking suspicion it will take a ride. But if it doesn't, we will know where to get off. Now that area over there, which you found your treasure, I ended up finding treasure over there as well. I don't know what sort of lunatic would bury treasure in 3 separate locations.
I believe Mr. Beardo is a variety of such. He probably drank himself silly and forgot the last place he was burying his treasure and had to keep coming up with new locations.
I guess that would make sense. He does have an ungodly amount of money. Did you hear that he ended up buying like several gold bars, and it has been giving him all sorts of great purchases for his attire, things like that.
Indeed.
Have you ever been on one of these here trains before?
I don't reckon so.
But they're surprisingly empty. I thought for certain they'd have like some sort of mail car, you know, something of substance that we could actually, you know, try and help and deliver messages for, but there is none. I have been on this train before, traveling across the country. It is mighty fast. But there's also a time where I was actually trying to rob it for some strange reason. And in doing so, there was a machine gun sent up right here and was gunning everybody else down. That's my first experience with people suddenly spontaneously exploding.
I imagine
Your
that
horse
might have been difficult.
is very tiring.
Kelpie's a strong there, mare. I imagine she'll make it there without any difficulty.
That is very impressive. By the way, do you see those ships out there in the water?
I do.
Do you happen to know how we can get out to those boats? I'm sure with your seamanship, we might be able to travel a lot faster in some of these territories if we had a boat.
I reckon if there were any boats along the shoreline, we could make it there, and I'm a seaman, so I could swim quite well. I could swim out that distance, but I can't imagine you've got the stamina for that, Mr. Milo.
I never was much of a swimmer, which is why I never joined my father on his journeys across the world. I did a couple of times, but I do not have a love of water. Your horse's stamina is something else. Somehow I think if you were riding it, it wouldn't be able to keep up.
Well, I reckon the weight of myself would make quite a difference, quite an impact on that stamina.
I accidentally ended up taking one of these trains before.
How do you accidentally ride a train?
Well, I went up to the front there, and I asked the fella if I could try and blow the horn, and in doing so, I accidentally threw him out the window. Believe me, it was a mistake.
I don't reckon the law will take that in account quite so kindly. I don't believe accidental murder is quite as favorably looked down upon.
Oh, he was perfectly fine. He ran away. But apparently the story he told them was that I was attacking the train. And in doing so, they ended up coming out and gunning me down. It was not very pleasant at all.
It's not an unreasonable position to take. I mean, you did throw him out his train windows. I imagine that there follows quite soundly. That you were trying to steal it. From his perspective, at least.
So you know, we ended up taking a ride, and so we are nearing St. Denis very quickly.
Indeed.
Now, are you familiar with what this machine is right here?
I'm afraid I have never encountered such a device.
Me neither. I keep thinking that it's probably used for some sort of water pumping, but I cannot tell. But every one of the vehicles around here has it. We are nearing the town of Arose.
I believe it's called Rhodes, Mr. Milo. Rhodes.
Now, don't you try and correct their pronunciation. I know how it's pronounced. I studied English.
I reckon the townsfolk would have a better idea of what that there's called, and they told me it was called Rhodes, so it might be intentionally bad English, but it's still their town, and they have a right to name it whatever they want, even if it's grammatically incorrect.
Maybe they were trying to spell roads, but then somebody claiming to know English came along and wrote the wrong word for them on their sign, and they just forever believed that it meant roads. I could definitely believe that.
I reckon. I have received a telegram from a Mr. Tranquil Waters who's telling us that this here device is called a steam fire pump.
Steam fire pump? What is it supposed to pump fire?
I reckon it's quite a very good defense weapon against the incoming hordes of aggressors.
I think I see. There's like some sort of winch over here, which it probably powers it. So it's quite possibly for raising stuff up. Almost like a type of crane.
Then where's the fire
trains
come
never like
from?
to stop at the station, do they?
I don't reckon they do. Perhaps the passenger cars are lined up with it?
Well, when they dropped you off out there in the west, they didn't line up with a station either. It's almost like the people who designed this world ended up messing up on the coding side.
That there sounds like you believe this reality's still fake.
I've seen enough to give me suspicions.
You gonna throw this man out the window again, too?
No. Hey there, sir. I just want to come up and apologize for throwing out your friend back in the West. You probably recognize me. Why are you saying nothing, sir? Apparently, they have not forgiven me. And why are you spitting at me?
There's coal everywhere. That there coal's getting in my mouth.
Are you saying you got a cold?
No. I'm talking about the coal that I'm standing on here. This here black stuff, it's called coal, and it's dusty, and it's in my mouth.
You gotta be careful. That can lead to black lung. And that can be a death sentence. I think it's called black lung. It's called something.
I reckon you're right that this here man ain't forgiving you because he's talking up to me fine. He just asked me how my day was doing.
What in tarnations? All I did was try and pull the cord in order to blow the whistle, and now forevermore I'm branded a train robber, just like Jesse Jenkins.
I believe we have arrived here in Saint Denis. It's right there up on the horizon.
Well, now, do you have any idea where this friend of yours might be located?
She always told me that she wanted to start a bar, a place where they could play poker in peace, so I imagine any such establishment would be quite a fine location to find my here friend Janet, if that is indeed the name she has chosen. I reckon it was a upgrade of a name as well, because her old name was Esmeralda. I ain't no big fan of Esmeralda.
Esmeralda. That's a bit of a refined name, actually. I would consider it a downgrade to leave that sort of name behind.
Perhaps, but it was her mother's name as well, and that there was not a nice woman either.
We finally arrived at this here St. Denis.
I do believe that
Not
there
big
is
shit, yeah.
such an establishment up here on the left in the center of town. Probably hop off here once we reach this here overpass coming up.
Sounds good. Make sure you don't break your leg when you jump.
I reckon we jump.
Oh my goodness!
You hit your head on a train track?
I hit my leg on the train itself. That hurt. Quite a bit.
I believe that you were previously talking up Yukon's abilities. I didn't see Yukon keep up with us. I wonder if Yukon's not quite as amazing as you made it out to be.
Just watch. Oh, Yukon! Look at that. My horse is coming from further away. He ran farther and faster than any of us. Hey there, oh Yukon.
Still didn't arrive
Come.
on time.
Nobody came from the other direction, which is mighty impressive.
All right, Mr. Milo, I believe that there is such an establishment that we might ask for my friend Janet up here north.
Very well, lead the way. Since you got that telegram, I'm sure Janet will continue to give you some sort of advice where to go.
I do here love this type of town. It is the seat of American ingenuity and progress. It's leaving people
look
like
around,
us
see
behind.
corruption.
I don't believe that we have a place in this here world that it's creating. That's probably a good thing. All right, Janet. You in here, Janet? Janet.
What tarnations is this establishment?
My lord, she did not age well.
But you found Janet.
Hello, Janet. I believe that you're way older than me now.
Oh my goodness.
My
You
God,
didn't tell me she
Yanet's
spoke French.
French now. Yanet, how'd you become French? Why are you speaking French? This is a Spanish here town. There's no need for French here.
Why did I just get some gold? I don't get it. Did you just get some currency?
I did not. But
I just got some experience and some gold just by walking into this establishment.
well, Yanet, what can we do for you? Why did you call me all the way out from down south of Blackwater? You at least gonna buy my drink? Look up from your food? I don't believe Yanet likes me no more.
You mean Janet called you all the way out here just to mock you, to show off her riches?
Are you some kind of
What's she eating there?
I
And then
reckon,
she insults you.
I reckon an insult might have been on the chief of her mind.
But fine, I'll just throw that on the ground. I never liked this town anyway, so I might as well lit up. Give me another one of those drinks. My dead eye is a little empty. So now, do you notice she's eating, what is it? Looks like oysters or something like that. What? Apparently she has problems with you. You might want to stop insulting her.
Well, she's
Or
called us
threatening
all
her.
the way out here, and she ain't done nothing to us. She ain't said nothing.
I got an idea. I'll insult her.
Miss Anna's Gameland, you could
I'll
join
hit her
in
with
if
the
you
bottle.
wanted to. If you were in the main
I can't
free
even throw
roam
it
server,
accurately. I couldn't hit her.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Have you ever been able to do anything inside these places other than drink and eat almonds?
I've been able to stop bar fights with Beardo.
Start a bar fight. It's pretty savage. This place is pretty fancy.
Very fancy indeed.
That's a bizarre picture there.
I don't understand why Yanet would call me all the way out here just to boast of her new riches. We
Hey,
were
look,
friends.
there's a bath here.
We were friends.
I can't get into this bath. I sink to high heaven and I need to get a bath, and none of the baths are available.
Does Yanet not like me no more? We ended on amenable terms.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not at all. You know, I noticed that there are some telegrams here. Stand by just a second. Here's that misfit gamer again. Says, I hear of strange markings on several buildings of the town of St. Denis. Speculation abounds, but the prevailing thought is they have something to do with the missing town folk.
I am indeed, Miss
The
Anna.
local officials seem to agree,
Please say-
however, the markings of a strange hand. Perhaps you could lend aid and bring some peace to the families of those lost.
I reckon we can
Somehow
look around
I'm
for some
feeling-
graffiti.
Somehow I have a feeling that maybe the figures that we're hunting might not be as obvious to the naked eye as I would prefer, but I'm sure we'll find somebody. And once we find them, we better try and deal with one of those other missions that I have come across.
Hello, sir.
And see if we can do it together.
I reckon that should be a good course of action.
This place is mighty run down for being a new town. They are not taking care of the establishments. Oh, look, here's a tavern.
It's a mighty fine drawing of ladies out front. I do believe I
It's
like
not.
this here artwork.
You like that there artwork?
I do indeed. I've received a
Why?
telegram
Because it
from...
looks like some sort of British hierarchy.
I believe it looks like a woman.
You think that looks like a woman?
I do indeed see a woman with a nice big red dress on. Quite a tamely looking fella. Would
Why
not
is
see
it that I see a British individual? Looks like an officer.
I see a fine looking woman from the Victorian age wearing like a corset and a big hoopy red dress. Howdy, Mr. Man
One of
versus
our
History.
eyes are messed
We are
up.
up to some Red
Maybe
Dead
both of
Redemption
them.
role playing, trying to get some
What was in those drinks that we
find
just
some
had?
shit to get up to here in Saint Denis. I reckon it was probably liquor. It's usually what I find in my drinks.
Well, apparently there was something stronger in there for us both to hallucinate so much. Well, so far I'm not seeing too much graffiti, but I am seeing a lot of very suspicious signs.
There's a stranger up there yonder needing assistance.
Maybe they know about what happened to Missy. Why am I doing this? I didn't mean to be doing that.
You were
That's
right,
very
Mr.
uncivil.
Milo. You about to have
I was
another
acting
fit?
up. I was having a little bit of a fit there. I'm not sure what happened.
Well, I hope
It
you don't
happens to
have
me
another
quite
one.
often.
I hope you don't have another one that makes you run off and suddenly appear down south in a desert you ain't familiar with.
Watch out, this fella's trying to get by. Now, have you ever been to a big city before, other than St. Denis?
I have
Wait a
on
second.
occasion. My military service, I made port in many such large cities like Charlottesville and Savannah. I quite enjoyed Savannah.
Do you see this right here? Chinese restaurant.
I don't believe it's appropriate to call it Chinese. I believe you're supposed to just call it Asian.
But why would I call it Asian when it says very specifically Jade Dragon Chinese Restaurant?
I believe you're supposed to pretend you ain't seen the Chinese part. That is the current customs.
Oh,
my
okay, stop it.
lord! My lord,
My apologies. I was trying to just enter the building.
I believe that their revelation about not being able to side China really just perturbed you, Mr. Milo. I hadn't seen you lash out with such violence on occasion.
My apologies, ma'am. You know I was just trying to enter the building there, did you not?
I believe she may have taken it differently because her neck is not a doorknob.
Well, this is mighty unfortunate because actually on this exact same street, I ended up stomping the face of a woman right over there.
Mr.
didn't mean to.
Milo,
I
you
admit
claim
it
to
was
be
my
a
mistake.
civilized man. You've always claimed to be civilized.
I admit sometimes we slip up in life, and I totally did not mean to do it. But unfortunately, the damage was still done. But I agree, it was not very civil at all. I want to take a look at what sort of weaponry they have over here, because I need to know how much money I need to collect.
Come in.
All right, I need some new ammo. That's what I'm requiring at this here time.
This fella is speaking in a mighty strange accent. It's almost as if it's Chinese, I mean Asian.
I don't believe should be saying such horrible things.
We sell a lot of that.
Well, what can I call it? I can't call it Chinese, and I can't call it Asian. What should I say? He speaks funny.
I believe that it's the speak funny part that is of concern.
Oh my goodness.
I like it.
Bolt action rifle sounds mighty. Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness, that is going to cost a lot of money. I only have 1/10 of what I need to make my purchase. I'm going to find a lot of work. What does that sound?
Oh, it's something that we used to do there on the boat. We used to sing a lot, some sea shanties, and I find myself humming them from time to time when I'm doing a task, a mind-numbing task.
My apologies, sir. You said civilized, and my apologies. I did not mean I was being I didn't mean to be uncivilized like that. But let's see here. Here's the cartridges.
Please.
There's a lot of
look
things
in.
here for purchase on the side.
Excuse me. Get out of there.
Well, I will definitely purchase it. Thank you, sir.
Please. Don't do that in here.
This guy's got a gator on his wall. I've not really had too many encounters with gators, but Mr. Beardo has, and didn't go very well for him.
Coming in.
Wait, what are you doing back there?
I saw something pretty.
Brit, what do you see?
Saw some shininess. Turns out to just be glass, but I thought it was silver. Mr.
Notice
Milo?
that this here door is a mighty sophisticated one. It looks like it's some sort of bank or something.
I wonder why only the back door is reinforced as such and not the front door.
Precisely. Well, let us head on over to this figure that we were seeing earlier. I'm getting a message from Big Rock that mentions we're supposed to call it Oriental.
I do believe that is the customary term of the era, but I don't reckon that them there Asians like to be called Chinese, Oriental, or even being told that their voices are funny. Mr. Milo, shouldn't tell folks that their voices are funny.
What else can I call it? If I can't call it funny or strange, you want me to just say that my voice is strange by comparison?
And perhaps, or maybe just say it's exotic. That's a much
Fine,
more
it's an
amenable.
exotic language. Now, where's this fella? I guess he's over there to our right. Seems very close.
I believe he is just over here in the post office.
Oh, it's one of these fellas. What does your current bank account look like?
I have about $187 to my name. Hello,
187,
stranger.
That's a fair amount.
Oh, this ain't the stranger. The stranger's on the indoors. This here's the stranger.
Yeah, don't harass the color folk around here.
Mr. Milo.
What?
I believe the overlords at their Amazon may not like that there phrase.
My apologies. Okay, fine. That gentleman out there did not want to probably talk with you.
I don't believe I want to talk to this discouraged man. He always makes me feel discouraged. I don't like feeling discouraged, but I do want to get some distractions. I need to shoot my gun.
You're becoming as itchy in your trigger finger as Mr. Beardo. Well, I, on the other hand, still need a lot of money, so I think we should then deal with a stolen wagon that needs to be reclaimed. So, if you mind helping me out, that would be great.
Very well. I shall await the finishing of your selection. I do have a telegram, though, from a Miss Anna's Gameland again, who's saying that we really need a female to join this here posse. I believe a female person in this here posse would be a good idea. Perhaps mellow out Mr. Milo's offensive language.
Oh, my goodness. I'm the most civilized one out of our trio, and now suddenly I'm the least civilized.
I'm not going to be a one to argue, but I've never heard Mr. Beardo say such things as you said in the last here few minutes.
Oh, believe me, he said that and worse. That was before you came along. Just wait. I'm sure he'll slip up soon. You can't. Where are you? There you are. The wagon is over here.
Mr. Milo, I believe you are in another universe again.
No, I was right next to you. You not see me right here.
You are invisible once again, or transparent, Mr. Milo. I do see you.
You have to follow me for the time. There we go. Just had to get away from the building long enough. The wagon's over here. We're on a time limit. But if you can help me out with this, then I will get that much closer to being able to afford myself a better rifle.
There's a cat. I can't catch up to that cat. I've received a telegram from a Mr. Tranquil, but it is of such language that I believe I should not repeat it in front of civilized company. Otherwise, an age-old wound shall be reopened. But I thank you for the telegram nonetheless, Mr. Tranquil.
Tranquil apparently is not focused on being very tranquil then, is what I'm hearing.
He's always stirring up trouble, and that there stirring is what gives him tranquility, so it's kind of a strange situation, but yeah, he becomes tranquil when there's chaos around him. Especially if he causes that there chaos.
But once we get around this housing development, then we will be able to find that there wagon.
Very well. I'm surprised we ain't seen no other people around these parts that are as real as the two of us. Normally when I come to Saint Denis, it's all hell breaking loose, but we've managed to escape notice.
This is very true. Right now, there's one that just appeared behind us, but we've not been messed with, which is very pleasant.
Very
My
pleasant indeed.
experiences over here are so very violent. I am grateful that we're having some peace. Oh no, I recognize this here place. This place is violent. They were attacking people. They're holding politicians hostage and dealing with cultists.
I received another telegram from a Mr. Misfit Gaming. Misfit says, Mr. Beckett, considering your history with the fair of our kind, God may help any kind woman who would stumble into a spot on your posse. I have such a great reputation with the ladies. I do not understand what you were referring to, Mr. Misfit. I was happily married for 5 whole seconds. That is far longer than the majority of people in this era. And it was a very happy marriage that I pride myself on. And I do believe the law is after us, or something's coming from their direction. Is that the wagon that we're taking?
Stolen wagon. Yes, it is.
Nah. Let's put down
I'm
some
going to
clothes.
use my rope, but I will not. I will agree that stolen property does not mean that they should be spared the rifle.
Very well. Very well, take that son of a bitch down. I'm gonna take this fella out.
There we go. Yeah, I just tied him up.
I have reclaimed ownership of this here wagon and relieved these individuals of their valuables. Oh, one of these individuals.
But I need to take this wagon here, so pardon me. Did you just rope him even though you shot him?
I did. I wanted him off the wagon so I could loot him.
Looting the dead, that's disgraceful. Well, watch out, we are being pursued.
I want to get in. Can I not get
It
in?
might be impossible.
Perhaps I should take shotgun.
Be careful. Might as well get up here.
Oh, I guess it ain't possible. Let's head out.
All right, well, I'm going to start heading out to deliver this wagon to where it needs to go. So please watch out as I back up this mighty big device. Uh-oh, I believe we're probably going to have to go past that fella that I ended up tying up. What are you doing there? He's tied up.
He's still a criminal. And he was showing up all scary and red-like in front of me.
Oh my goodness. And you can call me the uncivil one.
I attack bad guys. I don't say mean and hurtful things online. I believe that is the bigger villain of a distant era.
Emphasis on distant era. At least I'm not using some of those really inappropriate words that people of our day would have been using. But so far, I've not encountered any other villains on my vision, but it doesn't mean that they don't exist. We have 5 minutes, so I'm going to hustle and get these horses there as quickly as possible.
Well, I have got you, Mr. Milo. I'm coming up right behind you.
Well, last time I was here with Mr. Beardo, he proceeded to tell me he was going to turn over a new leaf, and then promptly went and started shooting people.
I believe Mr. Beardo was being ironic with yourselves, intentionally preparing to lie.
Mr. Beardo does like to tell quite a few fibs. He does like to stretch the truth as well. We are almost there. I'm actually surprised that we've not had to deal with any other ruffians. Normally, there's at least one other batch of them.
I reckon our safe travels is suspicious in and of itself. Perhaps this is a fool's errand given to us by a less than reputable source. Meant to
I
waylay
admit
us.
the men at the train station are not always the most honorable men. But at least this is seemingly a more honorable reputation, a more honorable occupation to have than some other ones. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Much better. There is the policeman. Yes, this was reputable.
Our policeman is taking this here carriage from you?
Yes, I just deposited it there. Now, I should be a little distance away from you. Let me pull up my map and see where you might be. Oh my goodness, there are a lot of figures around here.
Perhaps this is what I need. Come on, mate. I reckon
Free
it
roam
just...
award. What is that? I got an award. It says complete free roam missions for 10 characters. I just received it.
Quite a fine
Mighty
achievement.
nice. How nice of them to actually recognize my upstanding character and very, very successful reputation. So now, while we were doing that, I did notice that Misfit Gamer stopped by and mentioned that there is a red building just above the northern end of Dennis on the map. See if you can find a strange phrase written in white on the wall. Strange red building. Now, I'm very perplexed by this. We better check that out there.
I shall look for this here red building up here to the north. But as we ride, I have received a telegram from a Mr. Misfit Gaming once again, who says Mr. Beckett and Mr. Milo has been most disparaging of Mr. Beardo today. Mr. Milo's misgivings may be understandable, but perhaps voicing them so openly is not wise of him. Perhaps that is good advice for Mr. Milo.
You mean to say I should bottle up my opinions and never speak them?
I do believe that's what a professional gentleman would do in such an occasion.
You do realize that at least I use my words. Mr. Beardo uses lead.
Perhaps. All right,
At least I'm not using lead.
This here's a red building.
Red build. Oh, wait a minute.
I mean,
that is indeed a red building.
It's brick, not painted red. It's like naturally red, but maybe this is what we're looking for. Is there any graffiti around? There's a lady nearby. Hello, ma'am.
Somehow I have a feeling that if this were a different universe, some of these buildings might be served as a means of places where you can climb and find Easter eggs. Even though it's not Easter.
I ain't seen no
look at my map.
graffiti. I ain't seen no graffiti around these parts.
No graffiti, but there's probably something in this vicinity. If not, there's one more building that might be... what's going on back there?
Gentleman here did not like me looking at his lady, so he was aggressive, so I was aggressive back, but they ran off. It's all good. Apparently saying hi to his lady friend is a attackable offense.
Look at that. You just made him leave his hat there.
It's a mighty fine hat. Yeah.
There are a lot of shops around here. It's too bad you can't enter all of them.
It's a bit of a fairy hat.
Imagine if you were to be in charge of this world, able to open up some of these areas. I believe that's what they call a custom server.
Perhaps
that
it is.
Get to be very interesting.
These electric lights are quite entrancing. I believe I'm heading to the theater. Oh, here's another red building. This one looks a little bit more red.
I'm still not seeing any of that there graffiti here. Why do I keep wanting to crouch? But I'm just trying to slow down. There we go. Much better. Maybe it's back here in the alleyway. It is indeed spooky back here. What is that light?
I have a
Where
lantern.
did you get a lantern?
It's on my horse.
I wonder if Yukon has a lantern.
I
I
ain't
actually could have
seen-
used it in the past.
I ain't seen no graffiti.
Maybe that was one of those red herons rather than a red building. Look above the N of Dennis. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What in tarnations? There are two buildings. I think we better separate and see if we can find this here place. Look at your map itself. Notice that written on the map itself is Saint Denis.
Indeed.
I believe it's the Denis side over there to our right. I'm going to mark it.
Is a red
Oh, wait a
building
minute. I said
under
I was going to
Dennis?
mark it. Right there. Go to the N in Denis. Yukon, we got a little ways to go. Where are you?
Mr. Misfit Gaming says, but perhaps Mr. Milo's words will ensure that Mr. Beardo does use his lead next time. It's possibly. Perhaps he will respond to your harsh criticisms with his lead. Perhaps that's why a gentleman keeps his tongue.
Oh my goodness. Believe me, when you've experienced the life that I have, you too would probably be as harsh in some of your words. What in tarnations? Get away from me, sir.
Need some help, friend?
Come on, please.
No. It's much better there. Where did you end up going to?
I'm helping a friend over here asking for help. Oh, he looked like he was dead. He ain't dead. He ain't dead.
What do you mean he ain't dead?
He like moaned his last and leaned back and like let out his final breath. And then I did some, walked by, did something, and then he's like, "Hey man," started hitting me. He looked dead.
If he looked dead but wasn't, that is makes me wonder what you probably ended up doing to him.
I
Probably.
stepped on him.
You stepped on a man. Well, I guess I can't blame you. I ended up messing up myself when stepping on people. Still, it's not a good thing to do. What?
I'm not quite good with their extremities. My coordination is a little off.
I do find it pretty nice that there's still been no one coming up and gunning us down. We've gone a long while without encountering any villains.
And no demons, that's what I'm more feared of, is any more devilry. Alright, I'm looking for a red building underneath the inn.
I found a couple of red buildings. I don't know if it's exactly at this point, but it is very close. Probably heading back down south a little bit. Right here, there's an area that says soup kitchen. And around there's a lot of graffiti. There's one back here that says Lemone favorite. And some sort of gibberish. And then it says beer.
Bear.
Apparently. I don't know if that counts as graffiti, though. This is indeed a bit of a mystery, though. I wonder what's so important about this here graffiti that prompted us to be in this vicinity. But maybe that woman that ended up contacting you to bring us here is colluding with this misfit gamer. And the two of them are bringing us to some sort of important location.
I reckon it might be something like that. I've got a good vantage point, and I see several red buildings indeed. This is gonna be a dangerous fall. Oh! Ow, that hurt.
Getting yourself hurt back here.
I have a building that's actually painted red and not just made of brick.
I'm a little nervous about this place. I'm getting invites from a Saint David.
I have received a similar invite,
Very peculiar thing.
if not an identical one.
Now, this is very interesting building. You got archways made out of brick. I wonder in the other version of this world if this area has more interest. I was trying to jump up like this. The controls of this world are very finicky.
You get yourself hurt again, Mr. Milo?
I didn't necessarily get myself hurt, but I definitely did not end up in a very successful vaulting to try and get up to a second level. Trying to jump up, and it did not work. I'm getting a little nervous. It's like we've been invited back here only to be gunned down.
Ooh,
Where did you end up going?
There's a red building with a person needing help outside of it.
What? Where are you located?
Oh, it's just red lights, not red building.
Oh, you're running away from me.
I'm at the J Dragon restaurant.
I believe that we're probably missing whatever it is that we're trying to find. Probably walking right past it.
I reckon so. Well, you did say that there was some responsibilities that we could do together that would be quite a profitable adventure.
Oh!
That's me!
I'm terribly sorry there.
Why are you shooting anyone who come down the street?
I was getting suspicious that maybe we were being set up. I thought that you might have been like some sort of hired gunman. I'd said it was a mistake.
Shot across your bow might keep you from making a similar one again.
I was round the corner, and this place is getting foggy and spooky, and then suddenly you appeared. What are you looking at, sir? Just carry about your business. Oh, my goodness!
He pulled
You just gunned that man down.
He pulled his gun on me first.
That he did. That was actually a little peculiar.
But we got some witnesses.
Don't you chase him.
I don't want to be hunted down by the law.
What did I just hear over here? Help you from what? Help you from what?
I believe our witnesses are
perplexed.
compounding upon each other.
You need to watch yourself. You're going to get yourself in serious trouble.
I can't let them report myself to the law. I'm not equipped to fight the law.
Oh, I know that you're not equipped to fight the law. Nobody is. The law has endless supplies of revenue. The only amount of graffiti I can find back here. It's in this vicinity.
I'm under fire. I believe we should retreat from Saint Denis.
Good thing that I'm in no need of retreat, but you yourself might need to flee.
He shot first. The man shot at me, or pulled his gun on me. The man pulled his gun on me.
He pulled his gun, but he's not the one who shot first. Now you're reaping the consequences.
A man who shoots second are usually the ones who end up dead. I was protecting myself.
Last I checked, you're in danger of becoming dead yourself.
Well, yeah, but at least I have a chance of survival. If I'd let that man there shoot first, there'd be no chance. I'd rather take a Polar's chance.
Alright, well, I have one last hint right here that I'm going to investigate. If it's not here, then I will have to apologize. I am a dense man. What is this place?
And shooting first
it's
has
a-
always
it's one
worked
of
well
them-
for my heroes as well. A friend of mine, Mr. Han Solo, shot first. Kept himself alive.
Pardon me, sir. I'm trying to get through. Out of my way, please. Thank you. There's an interesting building over here.
I'm safely hidden outside Saint Denis.
But I will come and join you in just a second, and then I have one of those missions that we might want to participate in.
Very well.
I found it when I was pressing my L muscle on my keyboard arm, and it was much more challenging than I expected it to be. My apologies, Mr. Misfits. I think I am incapable of understanding the hints, but we are finding out that this is indeed going to be a bit more challenging for the future. It is a good challenge, and I thank you for figuring this out. I'm just at a loss. A lantern right above the frieze.
I believe these lawmen here are quite blind.
Why would they be blind? Did you shoot out their eyes or something?
I don't reckon I did. They just walked right past as if they didn't see me. I think it's safe for me to return.
Are you a phantom? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't reckon so. I don't look it.
I wish I had a lantern with me. What is that?
Hey, Kelpie, I'm glad you survived that onslaught of the law.
Well, Mr. Beckett, I believe we have come to the end of this search, right? Oh, ouch, that hurt. Oh my goodness. I just ran my face into glass.
That sounds painful, Mr. Milo.
That hurt. Oh, that hurt.
You alright, Mr. Milo?
Somehow, I don't know if you ever noticed, but I have a scar on my face right above my nose. That happened once when I was in a similar situation. I ran into glass. Apparently, I just deepened the wound.
Sounds terrible, Mr. Milo. I reckon you should get that checked out by a professional doctor.
I probably should get it mended too by one of them plastic surgeons. But then again, the scars of life end up kind of giving us character and interest. Even though we want perfect bodies, it's just not possible in this life. We may want perfect teeth, perfect hair, perfect skin. Nothing's gonna be perfect. But I'm trying to reconvene with you. I'm leaving that area, and there you are. Oh!
Howdy, Mr. Milo. Good to see you again. Oh my lord, Mr. Milo, are you? Mr. Milo, you hit your head? I think Mr. Milo hit his head. Oh no, Mr. Milo, I'm gonna mourn you. Mr. Milo, I was just wanting to say hi. Let's get you out here in these flowers. You like flowers, don't you? Now let's tuck you in a little bit better. Final resting place. Fertilizer for these flowers. I believe you'd like the poetry of that. Your feet keep sticking out though, Mr. Milo. So sad. So very sad. Mr. Milo, you will be missed. Can't loot him.
You would dare try and loot my dead body. I'm very much alive.
Howdy.
What in tarnations was that for?
I was just so happy to see you, and Kelpie was getting all sorts of excited seeing your mare. And I'm getting chased by a man with the lantern. Crazy man with the lantern is chasing me.
Yukon is no mare.
Well, that's usually how things work. My horse is a mare, and yours ain't, and that produces a certain effect if you catch my drift.
Where's old Yukon? What in tarnations are you doing here?
I believe I'm close enough to hear the echo of your soul when you do that, Mr. Milo.
Do you have a voice, sir? My apologies, there's a man here.
I believe that's the crazy lantern man.
I hear there's someone crazy running around with a lantern. My friend around here says he's being chased by him.
I ain't crazy.
He's over there. Well, thank you very much, sir.
That's the lantern man.
That's the lantern man, huh?
It is indeed.
He's not carrying a lantern.
I believe he put it away.
Horse thief, what are you talking about? Look at that, he's just tackling someone.
I reckon we
Stop
shouldn't get...
attacking the locals.
I don't believe we should get involved, Mr. Milo. The law will take care of him. Now the law is going to come after you, Mr. Milo.
Did you see that?
I did indeed.
I got him in the head and he's still alive.
Perhaps you didn't get him in the head. I believe
What's
he's
this over
upset.
here?
He's coming back towards us. And he's got his lantern out. Crazy lantern man has his lantern again.
Try and put out your lights.
I don't know what he's doing climbing on these here cots.
He tried to attack civilized men. What? Who is attacking?
Crazy lantern man.
No, that's someone else.
Crazy lantern
You
man.
best get out of
No, I shot Mr. Lantern Man in the head.
that man right there. That's the man that shot.
Oh, yeah.
We need to get out of here.
Oh! Mr. Milo, I believe that you need to learn how to ride your horse again.
I am injured and I am not riding very smoothly. In fact, my whole vision is crooked right now.
I believe Mr. Lantern Man will be coming after us soon as he is, so I'm running away. I don't want to fight Mr. Lantern Man again.
Better get away from this fella.
That was a clean shot. I hit Mr. Lantern Man in the back of the head, and it got him down, so I don't believe you hit him in the head, because he went down when I did it.
I obviously need to practice my shooting.
As well as your riding.
As well as... No, I'm riding just fine. Other people are colliding with me.
You just hit a
Including that
horse
barrel.
post. Yeah, barrel. I don't
Or
believe...
whatever that was. But it wasn't my fault. I'm certain of that.
Are you? All right, Mr. Milo.
My bounty just went up to $3.29. So for $3.29, someone's supposed to come and risk life and limb to haul me in.
That's nothing, Mr. Milo. My bounty's $5.45. And I was chasing Mr. Lantern Man's reanimated corpse and not you right there.
I'm right at the cross section of the railroads over here.
Mr. Lantern Man's chasing me down. Mr. Lantern Man's following me.
I'm coming back trying to help you from Mr. Lantern Man.
He's got his lantern out again. He really likes that.
Is he trying to hit you with that lantern?
I don't think so.
Tell him you don't want your lights put out.
I managed to
see
shake
you.
him a little bit. Lantern Man is still on my tail. I'm at the railroad on the shores of the lake or river or whatever we got here. Mr. Lantern Man is still close on my tail. Mr. Lantern Man is falling off.
Here, Bandit JR11. You are one violent man.
Mr. Lantern Man, have a nice day. Mr. Lantern Man, no need to keep following me.
I see you.
Bye-bye, Mr. Lantern Man. No, don't come back, Mr. Lantern Man.
That fella seems to have an affinity to want to hurt you with lanterns. Correction, has he actually hurt you yet? Or have you been the only one to hurt him?
Well, there was that... No, he ain't hurt me yet. No one's hurt me yet. Yeah, he's got his lantern out.
Last I checked, lanterns can hurt you quite badly. I did cut my face on one. So,
You got a knife now.
be very
That'll hurt
careful
you.
about him.
That knife will hurt you.
Well, then what are you going to do about this fella? Are you just going to let him keep harassing you with that lamp? Or do you want to...
I already shot him. What more can I
Beautiful.
do? I put him down.
Well, I've got a solution.
Put him down again.
Come over here.
He's not following us. Bye-bye, Mr. Lantern Man.
I kind of suspected that much. And now he is following us. But don't worry, we're going where he cannot follow. Now we're going to try that there telegram mission. Don't you do that!
I'm sick of him following me around. Oh, he's chosen to
Don't
parlay
work.
with me. He parlayed with me. He bothers me, and then he has the audacity to parlay.
So I want you to check your telegrams. It's in that area where there's a free roam selection. It says things like telegrams, pinned, daily challenges.
I have a general, a challenge goal, and a streak. Want me to streak? I'll streak.
That does not sound very appealing. I think that for the betterment of society, you better not do that. So you do not see something that says telegrams.
I see that's not near the daily challenges, though. I have a telegram from Mr. Skeldings, a call to arms, a new source of employment, and a tough business. And I'm under
So
fire.
Probably from Lantern Man's friends. They probably heard that you were trying to put us lights out and decided to come over and finish the job. So now I have no idea if this is going to work. I admit that. But what I would suggest doing is that we need to both do one of these here telegrams at the same time.
What in the blazes?
Last time I ended up being pod with somebody else. It might be worth giving us a chance here.
All right, what telegram do you want to do? I got a Skeldings contract.
Let's go with that one.
All
the
right.
First one. In 3.
Wait,
2,
hold on.
and-
The bad faith?
Wait a second. Oh, never mind. I've already done that one. So actually, let's go back for just a second. Let's choose one of them hard ones. Right now, there's all a bunch of easy, standard ones. So
I
tough
got a
biz-
call to arms.
all of them. You know what? Let me see if I can even redo some of these things here. Let me try and press this Skellington's in bad faith.
All right, tell me when you want to press it.
Press it right now.
I have pressed it. And
Now, if this works appropriately, we both should be teleported to it.
I'm being teleported.
My photograph was taken while my neck was being cracked of some kind. It's very bizarre.
We are to capture the 7th generation members and bring them to Skelding's Man. Very strange indeed.
I sure hope that this ends up being something where both of us are participating. What are palm trees doing in this vicinity?
I reckon they're there to be purdy.
Purdy. Hey, look at that. We are both doing this at the same time. we can call this a success.
I believe we can.
So now you must be very careful. I think that this is one of them other figures, one of those cultists. So be very, very careful. Her face is very stompable, we should say.
Stompable face, huh?
Assuming
I
that
believe
this
you'd
is the
call
same
that
one.
there a mirror, Mr. Milo. I believe that was a mirror.
What are you talking about my face?
Said you saw a stompable
I might
face.
not have the best looking face in the world, but oh my goodness. I'd like to also notify you that there are a limit of lives, as you can see in the top right of your screen.
I have
You gotta
indeed
be very
noted
careful.
such.
This here St. Denis place is dangerous.
I believe you aren't doing the proper inflection in that there, or pronunciation rather, on the Saint Denis portion of that their title. For these people are not of English speaking, so it's not Denis as you would say, it's Saint Denis, as in these knees need to be capped.
Why would you say Denis when there's obviously an S in it?
Cause it's from a word that ain't English, and languages that ain't English don't follow English rules.
Where they are in America, that means we pronounce things with an English approach.
I believe it's that their attitude that caused the South to have so many issues back there during the war.
Oh my goodness.
All right, you're heading off towards some random folks. I'm gonna actually head towards our target.
No, I am heading towards the target. I'm just going around circling here.
I'll get the other target then.
We might want to work together. It's a good chance that we'll get killed if we don't.
Is it that dangerous indeed?
It is very dangerous.
All right, I'm approaching the first target.
Use your senses in order to try and locate the person.
I have found the woman.
Is there another one of them cultists?
It is indeed.
Oh my goodness, you are so very rough with that woman.
I mean, we
At
said
least you
she's a
didn't stomp
cultist.
her.
She's a bad guy.
Very true.
Should we return this here woman together, or?
Yes, we kind of need to.
Very well.
This is kind of a two-part mission here. Whoa!
Follow behind, or escape.
Keep going, keep going. I will loop up with you.
Don't
I
worry,
got
man.
run off by someone who was driving one of them carriages.
Don't worry,
I
man.
see you.
We'll take you to safety.
Now, I want to know what sort of incredible muscles that woman must have in her stomach to be able to hold herself onto the back of that horse without being tied down.
I believe she got those from something called Kegels.
That's bizarre.
Is it indeed?
Oh! Careful, sir.
I have not heard a gunshot yet. Are we under attack yet?
Not yet, which is why I'm a little perplexed by this. Last time, I was being attacked right away. We've not come across any police, and she has been calling for help, has she not?
She has not, in fact. She's very well accepted her role as kidnappee.
She realizes that her crimes are too great to be left. Well, this next one's going to be far more dangerous. So.
I reckon so. That's near the rich side of town, and the rich side of town has better defenses.
Boss will be happy about this.
Try to put her in a chair, but I missed. Face first into the floor. Maybe lost a few teeth, but as I learned from a Miss Titania, you don't lose teeth from getting punched, you lose them from hitting the ground, so probably hurt.
Well, let's head over to the other location. This here fella is a politician. Politicians are very dangerous men indeed.
Well, not when you get them on their own. They're usually pretty sappy looking fellas, but they do pack enough of a wallet to have some dangerous men around them.
That is true. Did you knock that man's hat off for the sake of it?
I didn't intend to.
Now look at that. You angered him.
I've killed him.
Why can't you just learn to do, wound them? I mean, I try and be at least a little bit more civil when I shoot people.
Well, wounded men usually keep a firing. Dead men don't seem to keep doing that.
Do you want people to kill you? Is that what I'm hearing?
Death can have me as soon as she's earned me.
Earned you? You speak of death as if it's a living person.
I reckon she is. Quite ghastly figure.
Any more ghastly than that French woman we saw earlier?
I reckon a tad. The lifeblood seems to degastify many.
I realize I have very few bullets. Apparently, I never stocked up properly. This is a dangerous location. We're going to have to work together on this one.
I believe you're correct, for I see armed guards that shooting at me. I was standing in the reeds. There's no way they should have seen me.
They can see through the reeds.
I can't see through the reeds. How can they see through the reeds?
I don't understand that part, but that's part of what makes these men so very dangerous. Apparently, they're part of this cult that allows them to see through anything. And they have ungodly aim.
I've been shot.
I said this is dangerous, to be careful.
I was careful. I ran away.
Are you still there?
For a moment. Nope. Death has come for me. But I have another life. Alright, I'm gonna take this here slow. And I'm already under attack! I ain't done nothing yet! I'm standing way far away and they're already shooting me.
It's very challenging. Oh my goodness, I'm injured badly. Get out here, you con. We both know it's too dangerous here. Get away. Good holes. Find yourself some protection behind the building. Man, that hurt. These men are everywhere. Politicians are feeling his figures. They ain't still shooting through the plants. I'm down. I need help, or we've lost. Are you able to get to me, Megan?
I'm running. I'm running.
Megan. Megan.
I attempted to help you.
Gotta retry it. There's no other way.
I
said it was gonna be hard.
I reckon so.
I see your messages, Misfit. I will take a look at them. But not right now. Be careful, your ammo does not replenish. So we have to deal with that woman again.
I believe she was the easier of the two.
That is true.
Hello, Kelpie. I believe my horse arrived sooner than yours, from the same direction this time.
That's because your horse was blocking the way with its big form there.
Kelpie could only block the way if she was there first. I reckon we should kidnap this broad and get her back to the law as quickly as possible.
I'm not sure that's the law that is paid for us to capture her. Or if it is, it must be a rival faction of the city. There she is again. And she has some sort of strange yellow aura that goes around her. And there you are pushing women down again. Did you just try and stomp her there?
I am following you, ma'am. I've been paid to follow you. It ain't personal. It ain't creepy. It's just business. I'm not staring.
He said scare it.
Ah. Well, I don't give a shit about that.
As in spooking people.
I
That
don't-
being said, you are a bit of an unsettling figure with you and your white hair. So I can't blame her.
I believe my white hair is dignified, is the proper term.
So can you not see that it's almost like a ghost is coming to visit her?
I rather like that moniker. Be the ghost of the desert. Maybe Ghost of Denis. What's a good ghost title that it could go with that?
Beckett the Ghost.
Beckett the Ghost?
Spooky indeed. The harasser of women.
Hey, my wife didn't think I was harassing her. All the way up to her tragic past, and she never thought a single bad thought about me.
But this time we have to be far more careful. Try and find some cover. Use buildings, since they cannot see through a building.
They saw through reeds. Maybe they can see through buildings.
That might be true, but they can't shoot through them. Wonder if there's anything to help replenish my dead eye. I said that I needed to get myself some beer.
All right, ma'am. This here's your home. For the time being, at least. Let's see, is there a better place to put you? Oh, I'm not in control. I guess I can't intentionally drop you anywhere.
I did not mean to use that. There's a lot of things that I end up using that I didn't intend.
All right, that farm is way off to the north of Saint Denis, and they're the buildings that we were defending from before. I reckon we should go head off in that direction to start off with. Come at it from that direction. Avoid the town altogether.
Be careful, this swampy area does have gators.
I wonder what gator tastes like. Is it green meat on the inside, too?
Not really. But you also have to be careful. I don't know if you are familiar with it, being from Massachusetts. But if you eat gator, you have to make sure to cook the meat in just the right way. Otherwise, it is toxic and can kill you. There was a town that I remember hearing about in Africa. Killed themselves a giant lizard. Some say it was a crocodile. Some other people say it might have been something different. But the thing was eaten by the entire town, and people ended up dying. Every last member of the town perished because they ate it. So be careful. Now beware of this politician. I don't know what sort of fella he is, but whatever sort of political stance he has, it is done at the expense of everyone else's life.
I reckon we should stay closer together this time, in case we're shot again.
Precisely.
I found good refuge here at this here building. I want to see if I can get inside to defend against the law coming. You just climb up there?
You mean on top of the roof?
I can't go inside.
I see one, and I have a clean shot.
All right, take the shot when you are prepared, Mr. Milo.
The war has begun. That fella said he was going to watch me cry or something. Maybe he said die, but it sure sounded like cry. That man was shot in the head and he got up as if it was nothing.
I ain't see
There we go.
Can't see nobody.
Oh, they're over here. If you want to take some shots, feel free.
I have people shooting me from the reeds, but I can't see through the reeds to shoot
Yeah,
back.
get over here. Over here is a lot easier. Maybe you seamen were not very familiar with what it's like to deal with fighting behind enemy lines, but this is very similar to what it was like for me.
I reckon we should be careful not to get surrounded.
Precisely.
Oh, I see.
Technically, you want to have your horse nearby, but I have gotten Yukon injured far too much for me to trust myself right now. I need better shooting if I'm going to have my horse nearby. Why can I not get over this silly stool? It's just not working. They're pulling back a little bit. You see anybody on your end?
I do. And
I'll
I'm...
come over and help you for a moment. Now, there is a wagon over there. That's actually a pretty good place to try and hold up. I'm going to try and get to it. Look at me.
Good luck.
Tell me, have you ever been in an open battle before?
On board my ship, I was.
Oh, that I don't count that as an actual battle.
I guess you've never been attacked under cannon fire before, then.
Well, no, I've not.
Because cannon fire is far more frightening than mere bullets. So I don't consider...
A cannon's big. You can dodge a cannon. Nope! I said cover me!
I did. I shot the man. Oh, have you respawned?
Yes, I have. Technically, that means I've actually been healed. I've drank my snake oil, and I am good to go.
Any requests for the Undertaker?
I ended up running out of rifle rounds, so I'm going to have to use my pistol from this point on. Wait a minute. Oh, that's you!
It is indeed. I've taken up
I
your
was
position.
trying to shoot you. My apologies. Do you see this man right here?
I do. I shot him in the head.
Poor fella. He's so wounded, and he's rethinking his life choices. I can't blame him. I've had to rethink my life choices quite a few times as well. Sometimes battle can wake you up to the problems that you have encountered, to the problems you've made. And be careful, do not shoot the politician.
I have not seen the politician yet.
Oh, he is over there. Be careful, where they're shooting over here next to the building, that's where the politician is. Despite his crimes, he does not need to be shot. Why can I not see him? So that's the last man over there. That is the politician. Where are you? There you are.
Is that
Careful.
Is that the politician? I killed him.
That is the politician.
Oh, that's the politician.
All right, now we need to... Wait a minute. I don't want to execute. I just want to grab him.
I got him.
Oh, I have to have my rope out if that was to happen. I thought I was going to pull out my rope anyway.
Damn ropes off of me!
But quickly, pick him up and we got to get out
I don't
of
want
here.
that guy. I picked up the wrong man.
But obviously, that is a problem. I know a great many women that pick up the wrong man, too.
All right, cover me.
All right, start riding away.
I shall flee the scene.
Where's Yukon? There you are. I'll offer aid as I can.
I believe we have successfully managed to do so, as requested of us.
This mission is not over, though. Be very careful.
Maybe we should just drown this here politician.
I said, despite his crimes, he doesn't need death here, so...
I mean, he probably deserves death more than the people we just shot.
I agree. It's kind of funny, actually. Throughout history, the most wicked men are the ones that get spared. It's all the underlings that don't quite understand what's happening that end up getting slain in their place. It's a cruel part of life.
I believe that's called the tyrant's paradox.
Some people strive their whole life to become tyrants just so they can be in control of such events. Such people also have very few morals and end up hurting a lot of people in the process.
I
What
reckon.
was that sound?
Oh, that was the woman. She doesn't like having a man thrown on top of her.
Why do I have my rifle out? I have no ammo.
Oh, we're under
There's the
attack.
lawmen.
We're under
These are the
attack.
corrupt lawmen.
I reckon they're just the normal lawmen, and we're the ones who are corrupt.
Somehow, I don't think that might be the case. This man obviously was working with the cultists. Did I really just shoot a horse?
I believe you did.
I can't believe I did that.
I believe you should fire back, because I can't shoot and drive very well.
down. Oh. Help. Hey, fading. Not only that, but now the world is starting to shake up here in the state of Alaska.
I have been killed as well.
That was actually quite terrifying. Not only was I perishing on the ground there, but the whole world up here started to quiver as my body was bleeding out, almost like it was some sort of fourth dimension reality.
That's quite an out-of-body experience you're having there. All right, why don't you get on board?
I think that's what they call a magnitude 3 earthquake.
All right. Now defend us, Mr. Milo. Defend us. I can't believe
That's one there.
my bounty has gone up to $7.10 whole cents. I could buy me a whole meal in Saint Denis for that.
That is very true. Might want to be careful, though, where you go and shop, though. Someone might give you a bunch of really cheap beans for a couple of dollars.
I do like me some beans.
Beans are mighty fine, but man, do they make somebody gassy.
I believe that individual you're referring to is most likely a Mr. Beardo.
Please don't bring up such things. He might hear you. I think he might be a little aware of his wilderness odor that he has out here on the plains. Somehow I think that's probably not who he is in real life. Oh. Oh, did I just shoot through you?
No, I shot the horse's head.
I'm running low on ammo.
We can swap brains if you need to.
I'm not sure if that works the same way.
I have
but
a
we can
button.
give it a try.
I have a button that asks me to.
All right, let's do that then. I'm running really low. What is happening here? There we go. Much better.
Even worth as much as this. They all bleed the same.
I want to know what their crimes were now. This is the second time we've dealt with that. I personally have dealt with politicians and cultists. I want to know what their crimes were.
I don't believe he's going to answer you, but I do have a telegram from a Mr. Joseph Dredd. Welcome, my friend. He says, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a cannon. I've never managed to dodge neither, so I reckon there's a grain of truth to that there.
You've never dodged a cannon before.
I have not had the occasion to do so.
Somehow I have the feeling like that would have come in handy, though, in your line of work.
I reckon so. All right.
I just glitched a little bit.
I believe we are in different universes again, or separated by
I'm
great
not entirely
distance.
sure yet. Let us instead try and convene upon a similar location.
I'm in the woods outside Saint Denis at a cabin.
At a cabin. Well, let me wait until the delay to your vision is resolved.
I am
Then
in
I can
a
possibly see you.
stable, in fact. I'm near a stable.
Oh, you're near a stable. I see that there's a stable nearby. I will head on over to you.
In the fields of Lemoyne.
I believe it's pronounced lemonade.
I believe it's another example of people using non-English words in English language, pronouncing it all funny and such.
I guess we will have to agree to disagree.
It's not me that's you're disagreeing with, it's the locals.
And pigs.
I'm under fire. Someone's shooting. That
That's
you?
probably me shooting the pigs.
I believe we are nearby. Yes, indeed, Mr. Milo.
These pigs are indestructible. Apparently
Unless
not for you, though.
Well, I got rifle rounds.
The other one's right over here. Can't let him get away. There he is. Much better. That is a big pig. It actually has tusks.
Mr. Milo, I reckon we have about a quarter of an hour till the main event of the evening begins. Just so you're aware.
That is good to know. I see that a certain fella by the name of Ian so forth has just arrived. I didn't want to just drop that. Nope. Let me get back to that. I want to pick that up. Pick up the hide. There we go. Much better. And now stow it. Much better. And just leave that pig meat out here to rot, apparently. Maybe the cougars and the wolves will have mighty good eating tonight.
I reckon so.
Well, based upon the amount of time that we have left, I suggest that we might want to head back over to probably Valentine. See if there... Well, no, correction. There's that flat neck station. I believe that unsavory character that I will never actually work with again, but he might be someone you could get a job from. Him and you probably have some commonality.
I reckon
and then
so.
we can resign for the evening.
I believe I'm going to attempt the view of cinematics on this here road.
The view of cinematics. What does that mean?
It's where I have an out-of-body experience and see the world around me from the perspective of birds and angels.
How in tarnations do you pull that off?
I believe it's the I don't know for sure. I believe in the keyboard it would be the V. Holding down.
Oh my goodness.
And if you're already riding your horse along a trail that you have a destination marked on your map to, the horse will follow the path on its own while you are in the body of angels. All you need to do is keep acceleration. It's quite beautiful fog. It's quite beautiful indeed.
Fog always disturbs me. You never know what's lurking in the fog.
The face
Like
of God
zombies.
is concealed in fog, is what my mama used to tell me. Probably because up there in Massachusetts, it's always damn foggy.
Massachusetts is indeed a foggy location. Tell me, after you got out of the war, did you ever get into any of that there whaling? I hear Massachusetts hires a lot of seamen for that.
I ain't never been home nor never set foot on a vessel since those final shots of the war resounded. I reckon I can't ever go back. The bodies are too stacked high before my vision.
Now, what was the final battle you partook in, or did it even have a name?
I believe it was one of them fancy ones. I don't much listen to other folks' transpirings of these events, but transcribing of these events, but it was one near the end of the war up there in, what's that place called? Southern Virginia coastline. We intercepted a battleship. They were calling it an Ironsides. It was quite a formidable beast.
You mean to tell me you're in one of those ironclad vessels?
I was not in one of them, but I did contend with one of them. That was the last battle I partook in, and it was a one-on-one, an old frigate, the Indefatigable, versus that old ironclad. And boy, we did not fare well. Ship went
Did they
down.
sink you?
The ship went down, indeed. I was one of the few survivors. Luckily, the war was over and the ironclad stood down, but I can still see the face of my there old captain, Captain Pellew, holding that there wheel to the very last, giving as much time for his crew to abandon ship before he went down with his Indefatigable. Quite a
I'm
harrowing
mighty
sight.
glad you're able to survive that, but that must have been a terrifying experience.
I don't reckon I've spoken of the event since it happened.
Let us see. I believe there might be some telegrams at this here station. Quite possibly. Have some water there, Yukon! Wow, he was so thirsty he threw me off. There's that fella that I don't trust. Don't you ever give me another mission in which you dare hurt poor Yukon. That's a warning to you, sir. My poor Yukon got injured horribly at the hands of that fella. Lo and behold, there is indeed a telegram on here. It is from an Ian Soulful. And for 500 pieces of silver, also known as bits, it says, I also mistrust the fog. It holds mystery. What is that?
This man was cheating at poker.
So you just gunned him down over a game?
I cannot stand cheats. He's veritable unto
Oh,
murder.
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's just a game. But I want to thank you, Mr. Ian. It's very, very gracious of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
This here's a pretty new hat.
Interested in some work, huh? That's it. You can go.
I hate you, sir.
Hit me with that thing, okay?
Oh yeah, you give it to me. What in tarnation was that for?
I wanted to see if that there spectral version was you or not. Ghostly face is dangerous and frightening.
You tried to shoot me.
I just shot you through the head and ain't done nothing to you.
But wait, stand by. Lo and behold, you're immune. It's almost like I'm immune too. And we can even walk through each other. You're not hallucinating, are you? Or am I hallucinating?
I mean, you have the stronger track record of unstable mental state, so I reckon it's you that's hallucinating. I reckon I don't even exist. I reckon I'm just in your head.
If you don't exist,
Stop that right now.
then I don't have any problem saying that Mr. Beckett was a no-good scoundrel and a cheat, turning on his own men and joining another side when they were bleeding. Even if he was press-ganged, had a brotherhood.
Brotherhood ends the moment I'm forced to do shit.
Wait a minute. I thought you were a phantom.
I never change sides. Two things I can't stand in this life: cheats and people thinking that I fought for the South of my own volition and betrayed them when I went off to my homeland of the North.
Get moving. Back off. Oh no.
I shall not miss you.
Please don't do this.
I believe we have a telegram here saying we have the 10-minute warning for the arrival of the main event of the evening.
It was times like this, and I've wondered, what other damage did that war do to our country? If not just to the bodies that lay dead, but to the people that came out from it on the other side. The fact that we don't trust each other. The fact that we think that gunning people down is a form of greeting and things like that. That is indeed troubling to me.
Indeed.
You, in many ways, have become so much like Mr. Beardo. If I didn't have that snake oil, I would be in serious, serious trouble. And now you're there just taunting me for the sake of it.
Indeed.
Well, I have a feeling like this is where we need to part ways again.
I do believe Mr. Beardo would be better company even in his drunken state. At least he doesn't accuse me of disloyalty at every possible opportunity.
Sometimes I can appreciate your company, and other times, like now, it's detestable to me. Go back to Mr. Beardo and see how you like it. Just wait till he puts a bullet in your head. Just remember, I've yet to put a bullet in your head.
I reckon it's the horizon for me then.
As is the desert for me. Make sure the next time we meet, that you're more civil.
All right. All right, all right, all right.
I am terribly sorry, Miss Blabbering Collector. We have just come to the end of our stream. Thank you very much for sending people our way. Alas, everybody is getting prepared for main events. Thank you for coming by. And for those who have followed, hopefully next time you can actually appreciate the adventures that we go through over here.
Indeed.
Well, welcome back to the land of the living, everyone. As I exit out the game, that's when we get raided.
It's great timing.
Great timing.
Come on, Blabs.
But I do appreciate it. Yeah, our apologies. We do come to the end, not necessarily because we necessarily have the need to stop, but because we just want to make sure we don't trespass upon people that do need to get over to the main event. So for those who did show up, thank you very much. Hopefully it was enjoyable to you. We did have a little bit of an audible. We did have a little bit of an attempt to try and have audience interaction. I think I've picked up some ideas on how to make it work, though, in the future. Some of it, I think that we struggled to try and have like objectives that had what we a bit of payoff for the audience. And so hopefully next time we will have like some really codified kind of rules of how it will happen,
Yeah.
because this game is so very finicky and you don't really know what's going to transpire. But Jed, what was your opinion on how things went for this time around?
Well, we definitely got into a lot more of the role-playing aspect than we normally do, so that was nice. I did have people in chat like we did get a little boring there sometimes, so the balance between
Yes.
action and role-playing is a delicate one that we just need to perfect a little bit, and I think the added degree of chaos that Beardo provides is a very good way a gauge for that balance. So missing him, look forward to him coming back. But yeah, I think we still had a lot of fun and accomplished quite a bit.
Yeah, I think though now that we know how to go into some of the bigger missions as teams, that's a big boost to what we have moving forward. And if we can do that as a threesome, that would actually get very interesting for some of them.
Yeah.
Granted, we did the hardest one, so it's not like there's a whole lot of them to be able to do. You can redo those missions, as I had done that one the other day. We just got to make sure that whatever one that we do moving forward, that we kind of have like some of the story aspects slightly figured out beforehand, just so we make sure that we make it feel a little bit.
Right.
Everybody's got a role in this trio going out to the west, and not having Beardo here definitely does add some different aspects to that dynamic. And I'm sure that if Jed and I were to do more of these, I'm sure it would just keep getting better and better, because kind of like with Beardo, it took a little while to finally get into the swing of things. He definitely adds some extra dynamic, but then that means that we just have to find a new way of having dynamic for our two characters. And so having references to the past life is a good way to start building up some of that tension. Because animosity is the backbone of a great many storylines, and you need it to feel natural rather than just running around and having shooting fests like a lot of people in open online communities tend to do. So I'm sure that we'll find a balance for Mr. Beckett and Mr. Milo moving forward, and I look forward to seeing what that looks like.
As do I.
But Jed, do you have anything that you're going to be doing over this next week before our next session?
Not a whole lot that's worth promoting to everyone. The big thing is today I actually finished the script on my big Witcher lore video that I've been working on, so really excited to dive into the visual effects and editing aspect of it. It looks like it's going to be about an hour and 20 to an hour and 30 minutes long, so it's quite a hefty endeavor that I'm undertaking, and still got a couple weeks left till the Blood Origin comes out, so just mainly working on that for the time being.
Excellent. But yeah, so when do you think that they'll be coming out? Just so everyone knows what to look forward to.
I'm shooting for. I'm considering breaking it up into 3 parts because of the length. So if I do 3 parts, it'll be on the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st. The 3 parts. Otherwise, it'll most likely be probably the Wednesday before Christmas, so the 21st. If I drop it as one singular video.
Excellent. All right. Well, for those that are going to the main event, I think that's starting right now. So thank you again for everyone that stopped by, and look forward to seeing you next time. And hopefully we will have Mr. Beardo with us for that part of the adventure. Until next time, everyone, have a pleasant day and be civil to one another.
All right, take it easy. All right, so that is the stream for the evening, guys. You guys were great in the chat. I tried to catch as many of you as I could. Things get busy. I did attempt to do so, but it was really exciting. I really enjoyed this, and your interaction is a big part of why these streams are so fun. So I just want to say goodbye to everyone real fast. Trunkle Waters, as always, Jaden Hamilton from earlier. I don't think he's still in there in the chat. Great to have you guys, and Anna's Gameland. I might try to get you in here if I can. We'll see. We'll see if you actually want to. Misfit Gaming, great to have you as well. Joseph Dredd, as always. And we need female representation and toxic masculinity. It's a delicate balance. Women who provide both representation and toxic masculinity is quite the pair, and great streaming buddies, as I've come to understand it. So we'll see if we can find anyone who matches that criteria for the chat. But they are late as usual at Tuesday night's main event. Yeah, we kind of expected it, but we still wanted to be pretty well over by that time just to make sure everything was good. But either way, that is everything that I have for the evening. So I will see you guys anon. Take care, everyone.
Hey, yo, are you feeling what I'm doing up in here? Oh, I know you are. Do you miss all the good, compelling stories that we used to get back in Hollywood that they ain't putting down no more?
Right,
I know you missing it.
your mic
So
changed,
check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues, baby. Book 1,
there we go.
Down in Flames. Book 2, Apocalypse. Then these are currently on sale. What are you waiting for? Get your hands on them. And we got Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming down the pipeline. Just wait for all the good stuff this dropping. You ain't gonna be disappointed, fam.
Some dull time. I think in particular when we were trying to figure out how to